I wasn't even going to do this video, to be honest with you, but then I figured if some of my thoughts could help some of you guys handle online criticism just a little bit better, then the video might actually be worth it. Before I even get started with this video, the one thing that I do want to stress is that very rarely is it worth clapping back at somebody for some negative comment that they left about you or said about you online. 99% of the time, it's just not worth it. And I say that knowing full well that in the past I've taken part in it. In my defense, though, I do have a dick and fart joke reptile podcast that was developed specifically to make people laugh, and some of you just make it so easy. But I digress. Historically, 99% of the time, it wasn't worth it. 1% of the time, it might have been. For those of you not familiar with me, my name is Chris Eaton, and among other shows, I have a podcast focusing on reptiles that I've been doing for the last 8 years. And the last 8 years have been relatively great, but 8 years is a long time. So, as you can imagine, I've definitely gotten my share of criticism. Some warranted, some not warranted. The point of this video is just to give you a couple of things to consider before you get into some long, stressful, drawn out battle on the internet that literally nobody is going to win. It's not possible for everybody to like you, period. I mean, you guys are going to try, but unfortunately, this is one of those lessons that you have to learn for yourself. Trust me, in the end, it's just not possible. You're going to get criticism online from idiots and from smart people alike. Here are just a couple of things that you should consider. Take into consideration the criticism that you actually get. It might be valid. So, my main criticism from another guy in the reptile space, and I'm not even going to name him. Everybody, all my reptile people know exactly who he is. But his criticism has always been Chris doesn't breed anymore. Who the hell is he to talk about this hobby? He should have no say in this hobby. He doesn't even breed anymore. Now, I'm 51 years old, and I've spent half my life breeding and keeping reptiles. So that comment is just asinine on the face of it. If I was talking to a former baseball player that spent half his life playing baseball, I would hope that he would want to talk about baseball for a little bit. If I was talking to a former football player, I would hope that he gave me some tips on how to throw a nice tight spiral, right? So that particular criticism never really made any sense to me. And it actually didn't bother me. And when he takes 10 minutes out of every show he does every week to remind people why they shouldn't listen to me because I don't breed anymore, okay? I just laugh it off, okay? I really should thank the guy because I'm living rent free in his head for months at a time. On the adverse side of that, I had a guy criticize me for cursing too much in my lives and in my videos. Now, when I first heard this criticism, I was like, that. I'm from New York. We curse. That's just what we do, right? But then I thought about it for a minute. I mean, realistically, I'm limiting my viewers or listeners, and I'm also risking offending people every time I use the F word or the C word or whatever. I put a lot of thought into that particular criticism, and I'm gonna make a conscious effort to just say I'll try. The second thing you need to consider is who is the criticism coming from. Again, I'll refer to my main critic because he's the most vocal, and that's what I have experience dealing with. But this is a guy who's telling me and his audience how irrelevant I am and how I shouldn't have a voice in that particular hobby. Yet he's texting me right after that, inviting me to be on his last show of the year, or how he wants to fly me out to his annual party next year. I have the receipts right here. Why in the hell would I care what a fake person like that thinks of me, my show, or my history in the hobby. You know what they say about the ones that always have to scream about how real they are, right? Yeah. So sometimes they ain't as real as you think. So in my day-to-day real world life, I wouldn't want to hang out with these kind of people anyway, right? So in my head, right, in this particular case, the person doing the criticizing is just filed away in that drawer that's labeled "it doesn't matter." Now, on the flip side of that, I had a guy contact me and criticize my audio quality on my live streams. Now, at the time, this was a legit criticism, but the difference was it was coming from a guy who I loosely knew because we run in the same circles, but he wasn't a friend or anything. And I did have respect for him because I've seen things that he's done on YouTube and on film before. So I took the criticism a little bit differently. Not only that, but after he told me that the live stream sounded like crap, he actually told me everything that I could do to fix it. And I went out and bought all the stuff I needed to fix it, and he actually walked me through setting it up. Okay, so it's another criticism, but depending on who gave it to me, I clapped back at it in two totally different ways. And finally, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, not everyone is gonna like you. And if they do, you're doing something wrong. When you start a YouTube channel, automatically you put yourself out there and you become a public figure. Okay? Even if you only have 10 subscribers, you're a public figure. You could put out a video saying that the sky is blue. And trust me, there's going to be some moron on YouTube or on Google that writes you back and says, no, it's red, and these are the reasons why. And because you're a public figure, they have the right to do that. The thing you got to remember is once the words come out of your mouth, you lose the ability to control how people take it. Think about that again for a second. Once the joke or the comment or the narration comes out of your mouth, you lose the ability to dictate how someone takes it. If you could get to a place where you actually learn or benefit from your criticisms, it's to your advantage. I used to read every comment. I used to sift through every live chat, just looking for something that was said negatively about me, even in the slightest way. And when I found them, I would get furious and I would clap back at them and I would clap back hard. And now, with age and what I've been through the last decade, I literally don't care. I mean, I had a stroke, okay? I lost my ability to play guitar and play piano and play music. And I lost one of my legs. Do you think that anything that some coattail riding idiot reptile breeder says about me is gonna sting as hard as me knowing that I can't play music on stage in front of people anymore? No, it's not even close. What I'm trying to do with this video is to try and show you how to have the same attitude without actually going through what I had to go through to get there. The main thing that you have to realize is that the outrageous, toxic comments that have no basis in reality, those should be easy to take. The ones that are hard to take are the comments that have some level of truth behind it. Those are the ones that you have to put some thought into and consider doing something about. One of the Greek philosophers, and I don't remember which one said it, so forgive me. One of the Greek philosophers said the only way to avoid criticism is to say nothing, to do nothing, and to be nothing. And I'm not really ready to do that just yet. I don't think any of you guys should be either. If you're going to start a podcast or a YouTube channel, whether it's about reptiles or anything else, fly it up the flagpole and see who salutes it. And whether you're over 50 or under 20, there's room for everybody here. Brush off the criticism and pay attention to the well-meaning ones. When the curtain finally closes, the only three things that you have to prove is that you had thick skin, you were a good person, and that you had some effect on the viewer or the listener. The rest of it is just noise. Listen, guys, if you actually get the jokes that we're trying to do here and you realize that you could love a hobby yet simultaneously recognize the hypocrisy and the ridiculous aspects of that hobby, you're the exact kind of person we want subscribed to our channel. We encourage you to hang around, watch some videos, and if you like what you see there, subscribe to the Fat Man Nation YouTube channel. If you want even more of our non-PC honest takes on the hobby, then please consider becoming a member of the Patreon family. For as little as $5 a month, you'll get access to exclusive Patreon-only videos with no commercials, access to exclusive contests only available to Patreon members, exclusive merchandise, plus you get access to extra live streams every month like the open Zoom call for Reptile keepers, and the Fat Man Nation Discord. Patreon people are the reason that this thing keeps forging ahead. And honestly, every show that we do here on the Fat Man Nation is dedicated to them. I love the community that we're building there. Take it easy, guys.